Hey guys, Steven here from ProTech. I'm here with my good range friend, Justin. We go out and grab wings probably
about once a month.
About once a month now, and he comes and competes at our competitions, and we shoot on the range together sometimes, and comes up to the holster shop. And anyways, he has, we shoot the breeze. He has a TAC Comp Kydex only rig on his battle belt. And I might point out before we talk about the rig that he's one of the folks that likes to have his setup configured such that he can quickly grab his belt and throw it on over the top of his everyday carry gear, which I kind of admire that quick response gear up mentality.
Well, that and it's like, I have another system I can go to under this. And you don't believe me, I mean, there is my backup magazine for my 365, which is actually sitting right under the TAC Comp.
Yep.
And
so you can disconnect that, and you got your 365 with your spare mag.
I take this off, and I have my EDC right under it. This is more just ergonomics and ease of use. That way, when I'm going to Steel Challenge, I just, instead of having to take my belt off, like take this off, take off my multi-tool, take off my holster, throw in the passenger seat, put the belt back on, and then put this over it. I just get a battle belt like this and size it so I can just throw it on over it, and I can go and compete. And once I'm done, I take it off. My EDC does not leave my person. I don't run the risk of forgetting to put my EDC back on, because you all hear the horror stories of the one time they need it is when they don't have it.
Yep.
Where the system's too comfortable so they can forget it, which, I mean, comfort is not a bad thing. It's definitely something you want, because if it's not comfortable, you're not going to do it.
You're not going to wear it.
You're not going to want to wear it. But you have to run that fine line of getting the habit of wearing it at all times and making sure it's there, it's ready to go.
Yep. Exactly. That was great. That was great.
Thank you.
So, food for thought. So now we're going to talk about, come this way just a little bit and rotate that way. Now we're going to talk about the TAC Comp Kydex only. Now this is a Kydex 100, outside the waistband, of course, holster. And if you don't know, we use Kydex 100 here at ProTech Custom Gear. It's the strongest grade of Kydex available. So it's about 40% stronger than normal Kydex. Calcutta T is what it's called. We used to use Calcutta T in the first year or two of making holsters, and found out quickly that it will fatigue and crack, especially when you beat it up. So like if he has his gun out of his holster and he decides to lay down on this side or roll, under a car or whatever, or catches it on something, it's not going to break, or it's going to take a whole heck of a lot more to break it. And, go ahead.
Just to cut in there, another thing is I have put the Kydex 100 to the test. What was my 365? Was it the cup, the inside of the waistband?
You have the micro.
The micro, okay, thank you. I got it mixed up. I have a micro for my P365, which is my everyday carry, and when I'm at work, I do not take the holster off. I take the gun and the magazine out of the holster, and I put it in a safe in my car that's chained to my passenger seat.
Yeah. So
I have, for the entire day at work, I have
your H-mag,
my H-mag empty, and my micro empty in my waistband. I'm leaning up against heavy machinery all day, reaching for stuff. So I'm putting basically my body weight on these for about a year now. And they have not caved, and I have no problem with retention. My gun is not difficult to draw. It's not too difficult to draw, but it's got enough retention that for whatever reason, I take a somersault, whether willingly or unwillingly, it's not going to fall out of the holster.
Yep.
So it's held up to a year of me leaning against metal objects constantly. I mean, it shows the wear, but it hasn't given yet.
And that's with his empty holsters.
Empty holsters, so there's no support there. Yeah. It's just an empty space there on my hip.
Just the Kybrid shell, and we it's called a Kybrid because we mold two pieces of Kydex. We have an outer shell and an inner shell that's all eyeletted and riveted together, so it's a really hard shell.
I mean, if you want, I can.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. So the TAC Kydex only is mainly for competitive and tactical applications. So competitive shooters can use these. We have 3 different options. We've got the Kydex only, we've got the Hybrid, and we've got the Hybrid HD. That's got level 2 spring-loaded rotating hood retention on it. So the Kydex only is for speed of access and rugged carry, and we can cant them as far out or as far off of the body as is needed. And we've got drop mounts and drop leg mounts and half drop mounts and all kinds of stuff for them. Justin wanted it hooked high and tight to his battle belt. So what we ended up doing here was we used some 3-loop Molly lock web clamshell attachments. So those are threaded through his battle belt itself. The belt on the inside of the
yeah. If you're not familiar with a battle belt like this, you have an outer belt and an inner belt. Like what you see this canvas here, that's the inner belt. Well, I weave it through the Molly slots. I weaved it out into the loop, back in, then back out for the second loop. So it's actually attached to the inner belt. Yeah. It's very rigid. It's not going anywhere.
Yep. Yeah. It's robust. You can snag it on something. It's not going to come off.
Yeah. And a quick plug, just because I like the product. I have no dog in the game, other than the money I got in the belt. But this belt itself is from T-Rex Arms.
Nice.
I believe this is their Orion belt, and this is the inner belt that they have on their website too. So this is all just as it comes from T-Rex Arm, including the mag holders and everything. So quick plug there.
Absolutely.
I've had no issues with any of them. I'm just plugging it there just because I think if it works, you should hear about it.
Great job, Lucas.
Yeah.
So the TAC comp, we cut it down such that it's competition legal. So it's cut to, we actually cut it a little bit above the competitive limit. Competitive limit says you can go 1/2 inch below or 1/2 inch in front of the ejection port. We cut it down to where it's about even with the ejection port, or it'll vary in there depending upon what gun it's for. If it's for a gun that has a super short barrel, like a SIG P365 for example, you can see we cut that one about halfway down. This is the TAC Hybrid. The Hybrid is, it also includes the leather backer to disperse the pressure against your side so you don't have any hot spots. But on a battle belt or on a standoff competition rig, you don't need the Hybrid leather there because it's not really touching you very much. So when Justin draw it really slow and preload it forward a little bit so your muzzle will come out. You'll notice he only has to pull his gun up, about 3 inches before he can come up and out. So now holster it and give us a draw at speed. That's pretty effective time-wise, and then reholster. Yeah, there it is. So it also comes with adjustable retention, as do all of our rigs. You tighten that screw 1/4 of a turn at a time to tighten it, or loosen it 1/4 of a turn at a time to loosen the retention.
I like to have a significant amount of retention, a little bit more than I think most people, just because I like the security and knowing it's not going anywhere unless I mean it to. Of course, I could. I didn't want to worry about class 3. I didn't want to worry about
the level 2 retention.
Yeah, excuse me, level 2 retention. I had that. So this is about as much retention as I can get without having a system I have to release before I can actually draw my weapon. Because I made this belt for competition, not for duty use. If I was going to do a duty use, I probably would go
level 2
retention.
Yep. And we've got videos for the Hybrid and the Hybrid HD separately, and it'll be there on the TAC Comps page on our website. So there it is. That's the TAC Comp holster. That's the Kydex only model. And Justin, you have anything else you'd like to say?
Just have a purpose in mind for when you set up a belt or any type of system. Have a purpose in mind. This is definitely set for competition. This is, I wouldn't call this a war belt. It can be a war belt configured right, but you see, it's just, if I was a war belt, I'd take half the junk off this side off. Like I would delete these magazines in front of the AR, or in this case, my Tippmann M422 magazines. I would delete these so they couldn't get in the way. I would delete this. I would bring these 2 forward. I maintain the 2 spare pistol mags and 2 AR mags. A war belt is meant for just the quick and dirty fight. So two spare mags for both your duty rifle and your pistol is probably gonna be more than enough. So this is definitely set up for competition more than anything else.
Yeah, I like that you have a dump bag on it there.
It's right now it's here on the back. It's for like empty mags or anything like that. Right now I have my first aid supplies in there.
Yeah, probably add, like, if you were setting it up for tactical use, you'd add some triage stuff, some tourniquets.
And I have the space over here. Like the triage stuff, if I was doing like emergency bandages, tourniquets, needle decompressions, would be over here.
Yeah.
I would like have like a med pack here.
Yep.
So
very good.
Again, this is just kind of meant for competition. I need 5 pistol magazines when doing the USCAA Steel Challenge, and 2 magazines for my rifle. So that's what I got here. I have 5 magazines on my belt and 2 AR mags.
Yeah. So yeah, Justin brings his battle belt out to his competition configured battle belt out to Steel Challenge competitions, SCSA, and you're really enjoying it, and it's helping you speed up your draw and your target transitions. So there's definitely some benefit to competition for certain major motor skills and movements.
Yeah, and it's just I would like to say it's a nice benchmark, a nice monthly benchmark. I can go in, I can look up my times from the previous, and I know, okay, if I do better, I'm showing improvement, because I don't practice those drills outside of the competition. So anytime I do those drills, I'm doing it cold turkey. I think that's a better indicator of skill, because you can sit there and you could do the same drill 10, 20, 100 times, and you'll get better and better and better. But I like to see you come back a week later, not doing anything, and do the same as you were doing on the 100th run.
And that's just a difference in purpose. You know, some folks have, you know, the competitive purpose only, and may not even conceal carry. They just want to get faster and faster and faster times, and they care about that one specific movement or that one specific drill or that one specific stage. You know, so that would be more of like your competition focused shooters or oriented shooters, and then you've got shooters like Justin that are more focused towards the defensive or tactical aspect of it, and then are supplementing that aspect with some competition. So hats off to you for doing that. We've got several shooters here in this area that do that as well, and really do pretty good. And it would be interesting just to see how far guys like you would go if you were to put that competitive focused hat on for a little bit.
Maybe later, but right now I still think I'm improving on myself as a shooter. I think I need to worry about that before I worry about competition. And I know it's going to be asked in the comments, so I'm going to get it out of the way. I'm going to say to you one here, what I have in the holster right here. See, I knew I tripped over myself. Is a CZ P10C. It's my preferred duty handgun for full-size carry. If I ever had to go into harm's way, this is what's going to be on my hip. So I'm not running a race gun in competition. I'm running the gun I would, and in a worst case scenario, the gun I would want in my hand aside from a rifle. If I had to go from sidearm to to fight my way to a rifle, I want it to be the P10C, because I've come to trust it and enjoy it.
And might I add, that holster is match fit to the P10C itself. We went ahead and invested and bought a mold for the P10C, even though it's super similar to the Glock. We went ahead and bought the P10C. So if you want one of these for your P10C, or want any one of our holster models for the P10C, we're going to use the actual gun and not a Glock 19. So. Well, sir, thank you. Thank you for your support, and thank you for modeling your TAC comp today. And guys, stay safe out there. We'll see you next time.
Hope I didn't scare too many of you away.